ESPN ranked all the cores in the NFL and based on their 5 best players and what's going on there, and they had the Lions ranked at 18. So this is what they had to say about the Detroit Lions core and why it was ranked so low. And they said, I'm surprised I ended up with the Detroit Lions this low, but Goff still comes with questions. Think of what we thought about him 12 months ago. Hutchinson's underlying numbers, including a 12% pass rush win rate, didn't match his sack production, 9.5, and Williams is unproven and will miss 6 games this season due to the suspension for violating the NFL's gambling policy. So the roster core that he has is Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Aiden Hutchinson, Penei Sewell, and Jameson Williams. Would you say that is the core for the Lions? Best 5 players, or most important 5 players on the team?
You'd have to put Jared Goff in there by default. Your quarterback's extremely important to your team, no matter what talent level you find him at. We saw the whole Tim Boyle situation go down here. So, yeah, Jared Goff's there. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think, is both a leader and your best wide receiver until Jameson Williams proves otherwise. Mm-hmm. And Hudson, yeah, I think he's going to be a leader and one of your best defensive linemen, too. I feel like, and maybe it's not fair to put them in there yet because they've yet to prove it in Honolulu Blue, but there's some members in that secondary. Like, I almost feel like Kirby might deserve to be in there as well. If you're picking on a 5, I just don't know who you're replacing. But I might honestly take out J-Mo.
I would take out J-Mo for sure.
Right, because Kirby's actually affected games.
Yes. Or Frank Ragnow.
Yeah, or Frank. That's fair. Yeah, I wonder, like, JB, did it go by just the best 5 players in every team, or like the most important players in every team?
I think it went by the most important players.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, all due respect to J-Mo, this team survived without him for majority of their 500 season last year.
Yeah.
So
over 500.
Yeah, I'd probably put Kirby in there, and I gotta assume CJGJ is gonna make an appearance at that point. I mean, I don't see the rest of the teams he had ranked above the Detroit Lions, but
one of the teams he had ranked above the Detroit Lions and a few spots above the Detroit Lions was the Minnesota Vikings. And here's what he had to say about the Minnesota Vikings. He said their core was Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Daniil Hunter, Christian Darrisaw, and TJ Hawkinson. And he said, if you can't have an elite quarterback, the next best thing is an elite wide receiver. There's perhaps no better at the position than Jefferson. That's the primary reason the Vikings are in this spot. So just because Justin Jefferson, the Vikings are 5 spots higher than the Lions. And Daniil Hunter is holding out until he gets paid. So we'll see what happens there. But how do you feel about the Vikings being that much higher than the Lions?
Can I see that list one more time, Chris?
I got you.
And maybe I'm super biased in this situation, and you guys probably all saw this one coming. This is Detroit Sports Network, but Kirk Cousins, again, quarterback in there by default. Justin Jefferson absolutely could be arguably the best wide receiver in the league. Daniil Hunter can suck a dick. I don't really like him. Christian Darrisaw can suck a dick. TJ Hawkinson was on this team. And guess what Brad Holmes said to him?
See ya.
Go suck a dick. Like, I get that Justin Jefferson is in the him category of NFL players. But does that drag you 5 more spots in the Detroit Lions, where I think you'd argue that Penei is for sure better than Darrisaw?
Yeah.
I think you'd argue that Hutchinson looks to be more promising than what Daniil Hunter is.
Eventually, yeah.
No disrespect what Daniil Hunter is, but yeah, I think that's kind of disrespectful. Yeah,
I do too. I think when you have TJ Hawkinson in your core 5, then it should push it down a little bit. Again, the Lions core 5, I don't think Jameson should be in there. No disrespect to J-Mo and all that, but like, I think Frank Ragnow, Kirby Joseph, Cam Sutton, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, one of those guys would be more apt to be in that core 5 or most important 5 players on the team than Jameson Williams in my eyes. And having them up so much higher is just because Justin Jefferson is him. I don't know about that. They're losing. They lost. Matt said it earlier on Ermanni numbers. They lost 7 starters from their team last year. They lost important players like Dalvin Cook, like Eric Kendricks, like Zadarius Smith. Now Daniil Hunter is holding out if he doesn't get a new contract. So to have them that much higher than the Lions is kind of disrespectful to me. I think they were a fluke last year winning those games. They won, 11 one-score games? Like, that shit's not going to happen again, no matter what. So I don't know. I think it's they're kind of overrating the Vikings here.
Yeah, and it has this whole exercise has to be based off of like previous production, because like on the come up again, the Detroit Lions not only have so many young pieces that have showed you something, but also CJ back there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's more pieces on top of that than when added to free agency. So, and some young pieces that you could arguably put there too. Like Jahmyr Gibbs is what he's being hyped up to be. I'm talking about like Alvin Kamara. I'm guarantee you Alvin Kamara's on the list for the New Orleans Saints. Like Detroit Lions core is definitely amongst the best throughout the entire NFC North, if I'm being honest with you. And I know we have another topic later on the show, breaking down the roster of the Detroit Lions versus the Packers. I'm going to tell you right now, I got the Lions over them. Maybe outside of a couple of defensive groups, but again, based off of like what needs to be proven.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. Who was above the Lions directly, JB? Do you remember? Like at 17, stuff like that?
Give me 1 second. I can grab
I apologize. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Because I'm not necessarily mad at 18.
I'm not paying for no articles.
Yeah, I'm not. I used to. Can't afford that no more.
Not for it was $3.99
$3.99
for that article.
Just to buy an article?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
I thought if it was like $1, I would have done it, but it said $3.99.
I mean, if you get the subscription for like what, $10, $9?
Yeah.
You get all of it, but I'll do respect to ESPN. I'd rather pay for the Athletic at this point.
You ready for this? Above the Lions at 17 are the Las Vegas Raiders.
Who do they have listed as their core?
They have Jimmy Garoppolo, Devontae Adams, Max Crosby, Colton Miller, and Josh Jacobs.
I mean,
that's fair.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
That's fair.
Josh Jacobs is elite. Devontae Adams is elite. Max Crosby is elite. Like,
yeah,
I don't really hate that one.
That's fair. All right, who's above them?
The New Orleans Saints at 16.
Okay.
Marshawn Lattimore, Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara.
Actually, he's not on this list. Huh.
Alvin Kamara's not on the list?
He is not. It is Derek Carr, Chris Olave, offensive tackle Ryan Ramczyk.
Yeah.
I think that's how you say his name. Marshawn Lattimore and Demario Davis.
Okay.
All right. I'm not putting that over the Lions and or the Raiders. Come on.
I can see why it would be.
Olave, Lattimore.
Lattimore is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Demario Davis is one of the best linebackers in the league. Yeah. Derek Carr, you could argue, is better than Jared Goff and Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. I feel that. They want to return of Jay Bussey. Are you down for that?
What?
That's the poll in the Woodward Sports chat.
Oh, God.
100 likes for the return of Jay Bussey.
Who's next?
Who's next?
All right, so at 15, you got the New York Giants. Their core is Daniel Jones, Dexter Lawrence, Andrew Thomas, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Darren Waller.
I'm not mad at that, actually.
See, that one I'm more mad at than the other two.
I just want to have them. See, okay, I'm talking about based off, like, proven commodities, right?
Yeah.
That core, as good as it sounds, still a lot to prove in there.
Yeah.
A lot. Andrew Thomas, fairly young. Obviously, Kayvon, fairly young. Waller's done his thing. Daniel Jones, I mean, one good season. Although I have faith in Daniel Jones to return to what he was, but talking about what he was like last year.
Yeah, I was about to say return what it was. I think he sucks.
I thought that was Leach for a minute. I was like, what the fudge? Same Italian though. Can't be too mad at that one.
Who's next?
Who wrote this? Who wrote this piece, JB?
Let's see.
Because I don't know if I put that last one over the Lions. The Giants?
I wouldn't put the Giants over the Lions.
Andrew Thomas, like Penny Sewell's more promising than Andrew Thomas.
Yeah.
Seth Walder.
Seth Walder? See, I'd rather pay for the Athletic. I don't even know who the fuck that is. I mean, some people in the Athletic I obviously didn't know until like later on, but they're like researched. Like that one guy.
The Athletic knows this shit for sure.
Yeah, my man who broke down like Ben Johnson's offense.
Yeah.
I was enamored with that article. I was like, damn, this is
good shit.
Some good shit. Yeah, I was like learning in that thing.
Who's after the Giants?
The Seattle Seahawks at 14.
Okay, they might have it.
All right, yeah. Who do they count as their core?
Hold on, let me guess real quick.
Oh,
DK.
Yeah,
all right, Smith.
That's one.
DK Metcalf.
That's two.
Tariq Woolen.
That's three.
Okay. Thanks for taking all mine. Kenneth Walker.
Nope.
No,
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker.
Nope.
He balled for them last year. The disrespect.
Quandre Diggs.
Nope.
Oh, the Cross.
Yep. Charles Cross.
Charles Cross. And
One more.
Huh?
Devon Witherspoon.
Nope.
No rookies, right?
No rookies.
Who is it?
Tyler Lockett.
Ty Lockett.
Huh. So, I guess we have 2 receivers in ours.
Yeah.
DK and Tyler Lockett over? Yeah.
I think Quandre Diggs should be in there.
I mean, there's a lot of people that should be in a lot of these situations.
Yeah. I don't know what he's basing it off of. I have no idea what he's basing it off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see?
Yeah, see?
I'm not necessarily pissed off the Detroit Lions being 18, but the Giants being 15 is kind of weird.
And the Vikings being 13.
Yeah, the Vikings being 13 actually is kind of weird too. A lot of people are high on Dershot. I'm not one of them. I'm really not.
Yeah.
I mean, by the numbers,
Yeah.
he hasn't been what Penei Sewell's been. So like, if Justin Jefferson's dragging him like that far,
That much higher.
yeah, like,
when he's the only one that you can actually look at and be like, yeah, he's better than
yeah.
everybody on the Lions
But at the
list.
same point, like, who is that guy that's dragging the Giants that much higher? Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe they just don't believe in this guy, not them, but this guy maybe doesn't believe in Detroit Lions young core like we do, or seemingly a lot of national media and all of media does. There's not too many people like saying the Lions aren't going to do what they're going to do outside of Adam Rank, who's completely biased
That's fair.
and a bit of a bitch. Hey,
A roster that's ready to go, a roster that's ready to contend, and that is the Detroit Lions. We have some audio from Dan Campbell talking about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and what he brings to the defense and what he brings to this team. Chris, can you roll that real quick?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, look, he's got a contagious energy. One of the reasons CJ's that way is because that's how he gets his engine going, you know. And so in turn, that just spills out into the offense or your teammates, and you can't help the level of intensity. Just it raises.
Yeah, and that was our own Noah cutting up some stuff.
Shout out Noah.
Yeah, shout out Noah
Fucking
making
goat.
some fire ass edits. We saw a little bit of just training camp looking, and then Dan Campbell talking about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and his contagious energy and what he can do. And we have
Chris, I see something else to select too.
a couple notes from our guy Matt Broder. One of them is that the defense dominated the day today, specifically the secondary, which MCDC predicted in his press conference before the practice started. Matt Broder says CJGJ is every bit the leader that we think he is.
Bro.
Like, how hard are you right now? Like, this shit just gets me so excited.
Yo,
Bro.
we've been on a fucking roll for Pride Month. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I am delivered.
But no, I relate to that, man. That's how I operate. I talk shit. I talk my shit. Even at this ball, I'm working as supposed to be next to my customers, but I talk shit to them to break the ice. You know what I'm saying? Like, competitively. I talk shit because that's what wakes me up. Not just because, like, for me personally, I need to piss you off and see that you're trying, so I can piss you off more by beating you now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I talk the most shit, and I love that about CJGJ. I think you and I both love that about your secondary players, cornerbacks, and/or safeties. You want some guys that are talking a little bit greasy.
Yeah.
Because the guys talking greasy can walk you too. You know what I'm saying? It don't just come from nowhere, unless you're fucking Eli Apple. But outside of
he
that,
does talk greasy.
we're talking shit, and you got nicknames. You're doing things right, and Jared Goff spoke to it yesterday about the defense being a lot more sticky than normal.
Hey, yo.
Jesus, man. Dan Campbell talked about it too. I mean, here's this other video I sent too. This is Kirby, by the way. I mean, the confidence among everybody on the back end now is just crazy.
Interception.
Yeah, Kirby fucking just sniping the ball. I don't know who they throwing the ball. It looks like Khalif Raymond though. But I guess Goff's been getting picked off a lot in training camp. The secondary is, and this is an offense too that ranked what, second last year or third?
Third.
Like, this is not your whore mother's Detroit Lions. This is the 2021 Detroit Lions offense.
Detroit Lions. This is the Lions offense that was feared around the league last year, and now the defense is stepping up. Now the defense is looking like it's going to be just as feared, and it starts with guys in the back end like a Kirby Joseph. It starts in the guys at the back end like a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, like a Cam Sutton. You bring those guys in here to bring that energy, to make plays, and that's what they've been doing throughout training camp so far. So we can only hope that it just continues to evolve. They get more comfortable. They're talking, they're chirping, they're switching coverages, doing different things, and they get the job done. Because I'm excited to watch this defense play next year. I'm not gonna lie.
No, we flirted with the idea about it like earlier in the offseason, like, oh, top 10, top 12 in terms of defense. But now watching it, and this is, by the way, too, this is like with no pads, meaning like your quarterback has all day to throw the ball. Like they're not allowed to hit them, right? What? This is your cousin's Detroit Lions?
Yeah.
Is that what you're laughing at?
No, I was also just laughing at the slut mothers.
These are your, we gotta make that T-shirt. These are your slut mother's Detroit Lions. These are your whore grandma's Detroit Lions. But speaking of whores, we flirted with the idea of Detroit Lions defense being top 10,
Top 10.
top 15. I think we were talking top 15.
We were talking top
a little bit
15.
scary.
Yeah.
But now in practice, against a top 3, an actual top 3 offense, dominating this offense. By the way, too, like the half these guys in that secondary, outside of Kirby and Tracy, I guess too, but new to that defensive scheme and still dominating. Like, are you brave enough to say top 10? Are you brave enough to say top 5? Because it's without pads, bro.
I'm not saying top
They're
5.
not allowed to hit. They're not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you got all day back there to make these plays.
I'm not saying top 5, but without injury, barring injury, I'll
Top
say
10?
I'll say top 10.
Top 10.
I'll say top 10.
I have no fucking issue saying top 10 either, bro.
Yeah,
If they stay healthy, there's some fucking dogs, and they're playing at an all-time fucking high in confidence. Like, I've been watching the Tracy and Kirby, like their relationship seem to be growing. They seem like they're coming out of their shells a little bit. Kirby especially, but I think that's partly because him being a rookie last year. We're gonna say something else too. I apologize, man.
No,
I was
you're
fucking
good.
pumped.
Go.
I am
Keep
bricked
going,
up.
yeah.
I am bricked up. Last time you able to say this about Detroit Lions defense, it came by surprise, by the way, but it was like, what, 2014, 2013? And I don't think any of us really seen that coming. You talked your shit about it because you're a fan of the team. Like, yeah, Sue could do this, Sue could do that. And then, oh, fuck, it really happened. It's another one of those things, man.
Yeah.
I don't
Byrne
know.
makes a good point in the Woodward Sports Chat. He says, dude, I'm telling you, have John Fox back there working with Glenn. The man makes historic defenses.
Yeah.
That is something that people forget, that he was added to the coaching staff. And he's a fantastic defensive mind and well respected in the NFL community. So we talk about the secondary, how much better we think it's going to be. I say top 5 secondary in the league.
Yeah.
I say Aiden Hutchinson has 13.5 sacks this year. I say James Houston has double-digit sacks this year. We talk about Aleem McNeil's body transformation, what he's going to do, how much better he's going to get. And then I think Jack Campbell is going to be the defensive rookie of the year. So, yeah, that's a top 10 defense.
Yeah.
That is a top 10 defense.
Jack Campbell, defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
You still standing on that one?
Yes, I am.
I mean, I don't want to say it'll be surprised, but I mean, I don't think it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I spoke to it already too. Like, you got all these guys back there who's gonna be able to get their hands on it. Pause. But he's another guy to capitalize on it. He's a guy known to capitalize on that too. Speaking of which, later on the show we're talking about Rodrigo's role, but I think you still see him out there too.
Oh, yeah.
And that's another guy that capitalizes on making plays on the ball. At least in college he did. But nonetheless, man, I really think I'm ready to have that conversation. I don't give a shit. And I'm also willing to reopen discussions for Dominic Sue returning to this team. I see the comments going there in Woodward Sports Chat. This is a team that looks like it might be contending.
Yeah.
And that's the
content.
type of team that Dominic Sue is looking for. That's what he's trying to be a piece of. And come on, dog, come home. Come home, Sue. Come on now.
Yeah.
This is not your whore grandmother's Detroit Lions. This is the new Detroit Lions.
Yeah, that's for sure. Even your horror older sister's Detroit Lions.
Oh, he's actually got an older sister. You should relax.
Like, Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn ain't here no more.
Yeah.
This is a new regime. This is a regime that means business.
We not gay no more.
We are delivered. I like women. Women.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like women.
I don't like men's no more.
I don't like men's no more.
It's literally like this Lions team is going to make some noise next year. And it's going to start with the defense. Because that is what held them out of being a legitimate contender last year. Yeah? Yes.
Well, I say yeah like that because like we're dealing with the top 3 offense heading into like next year. I think we're all pretty confident. I mean, I don't know about top 3, but I think it'd return for sure top 10. And then you add that defense to it. Like, I didn't want to say this on the show. I was gonna let this like rest in my craw, stuck in my craw for a little bit. The thought, but this morning I don't know where. I'm sorry. Give me expression. Help me out here.
Marinate.
There you go. For some reason, I felt like he needs a pause, but yeah, I'm gonna let marinate a little bit. But this morning, I really thought to myself, like, this is a good fucking team.
Yeah.
Like, all around. Like, you have a piece that you think could be there at the tight end position. You have pieces at the running back position. You obviously have pieces at the wide receiver positions. You have a competent enough piece at the quarterback position. And then this is what I came up to is, due respect, showing Jared Goff is due diligence. Dude did go to the Super Bowl.
Jane Lott.
And it was when we thought less of him. And I don't know how that's possible because 2018 was a stellar year for him and in the Los Angeles Rams. But if we truly believe he's better, he's already been a guy to lead a team to a Super Bowl. And yeah, he's getting paid kind of fat, but the extra draft capital kind of like makes up for that because you have all these extra guys in rookie deals. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because the whole fucking season, off season, been marinating for me, and I'm just buying into a little bit more Kool-Aid because that's how it gets sometimes. But like,
What if they signed D-Hop and Sue?
that'd be fucking wild.
That'd be a Super Bowl roster.
Honest to God, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Yeah, I would talk my shit.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you, aliens. This
Fuck
is
you,
Super Bowl
aliens.
roster.
Yeah.
You fucking aliens. This ain't your fucking whore grandmothers eat your lions.
This ain't your
fucking
whore-
aliens.
It's just Detroit Lions. The man on my left, Booner, filling in for Easy as he's up north for another wedding. It's pretty weird. Convenient that he's got these weddings on Fridays.
Yeah, it might,
You know?
if it becomes, I mean, I'm on the desk when he is at a wedding, so
Yeah, you're
He can
calling
go-
all his friends like, hey,
he
get
can go to
married.
weddings on Fridays. I don't care.
That's pretty. I'm just saying, pretty convenient. If Friday comes around, Easy's got another wedding, can't make it.
Man's allergic to a 5-day work week.
Yeah, well, facts. That's facts. You know, we got Chris Platty in the TD booth and Lucas Klotz on the ones and twos. We just got done talking about our expectations for some of the Lions rookies and what we think they're going to do next year. Now, this is something that surprised me when I saw it. I mean, I knew it. I knew it was true, but when you see it on paper, it's a little startling. The Lions are balling on a budget this year. They've got a lot of top quality players on rookie deals or fourth round draft pick deals. And as of right now, Sam Martin, the punter, who's a great punter, great punter.
Unreal.
Or Jack Fox.
Jack
I'm sorry.
Fox,
Yeah,
yeah.
Jack Fox.
One of the best in the league.
Not Sam Martin. Sam Martin was a punter before that. Jack Fox, the punter.
Shout out to Jack Fox.
Shout out to Jack Fox.
Great guy.
Yeah, friend of the show, friend
Yeah.
of the network. He's making more money annually than Amon-Ra St. Brown. Chris, do we have this graphic? Can throw it up real fast.
Yes, sir.
It's startling to see it.
No, this is crazy.
Jack Fox is making more money than Amon-Ra St. Brown via cap hit in 2023.
Which is crazy.
Now, Jack Fox is a fantastic punter, one of the best punters in the league. But Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of the best players on this team.
You know what it reminds me of, though? Like, we've talked a lot the last year about this quarterback 12% rule. And when you have that situation going on, what was the one thing that we talk about all the time with it is finding rookies on cheap deals to be able to win. That's just what I think of when I first see that, is like finding a cheap deal, a wide receiver, a rookie, and Brad Holmes just doing his job in the draft to get us guys cheap contracts to go win. And you can start paying guys, which we're going to have to start paying guys. That's going to happen like very, very soon. But that's just how, when I look at that, that's all it is just Brad Holmes has done a great job in the draft. He's found Pro Bowl guys. He's found all-pro guys in the draft. And now we're benefiting from that this next year or two. And that's why I think that, like, the window isn't, like, obviously we want to build kind of the next 4 or 5 years on these guys we have. But that window with that quarterback that you don't have to pay, it's a year or two window. That 12% rule that Easy talks about all the time, I'm in Easy's chair for a reason. I agree with him for that 12% rule. I'm side by side with Easy on the 12%
He's
rule.
Booner.
And I am Booner.
it's true. He is Booner.
Brad Holmes is just cooked up, and he has these guys. Panay Sewell, let's look at his contract. I don't know. He hasn't re-signed yet. Go look at his contract. I bet you it's something similar. So, I mean, not similar because Amon-Ra was
Fourth round pick, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Still
like,
rookie deals.
These cheap deals. Like, it's Aiden Hutchinson for the next 3 or 4 years. So Brad Holmes is just cooked. That's all that graphic means to me, is that he's cooked. He's done his job in the draft. We're going to have to start extending guys, and he's going to have to keep cooking in the draft.
Yeah, that's what happens. It's what happens when you have these kind of drafts that Lions fans and some of the NFL have never seen before, when you're pulling a guy who is thought of as a top 10 receiver in the NFL by a lot of people out of the 4th round. You're pulling 2 starters out of the 6th round. A guy, 2 defensive rookie of the year, like leading vote getters in Malcolm Rodriguez and James Houston out of the 6th round. These things don't just happen every day. But it seems like every year for Brad Holmes, it fucking happens. He just keeps doing it. He keeps finding the gold, and he's building this shit, and it's sustainable because he keeps doing it. Because he's not hankered down, because he's not like, oh shit, we have to sign all of these first-round picks. Obviously, Penei Sewell, he's going to get signed. I've talked about this before. Penei Sewell will, at some point, be the highest-paid lineman in the NFL. He's going to get a bag. I want him to be a Detroit Lion for his entire career. He is my favorite player on the team.
That'll be awesome.
Love that guy. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's going to get a bag. He's going to get $20 million. Like, he's not going to get less than a Christian Kirk. He's not going to accept less than that. So you're going to have to pay these guys. And that's where you build your core. That's where you have those guys that you pay. And the guys that you look at, that like, all right, these are the guys we're going to pay, we're going to commit to long-term for these fat contracts. Obviously, it's still a couple years down the road for a couple of these guys, but it's a Kirby Joseph, it's an Amon-Ra St. Brown, it's a Penei Sewell, it's an Aiden Hutchinson, and then you can continue to insulate them with these cheap deals, cheap rookie contracts, keep finding diamonds in the rough like an Amon-Ra St. Brown or a Malcolm Rodriguez or a James Houston, and have your core set. And then just keep feeding great talent out of the draft.
You get your core set, and it's like we've seen this with like the Chiefs. We've seen it with all these different franchises. The Packers did it for so long. Like all these teams have done it. The Lions are finally doing it. They're finally building a franchise with a great core to where you could potentially just be good for the next 4 to 5, 6 years with these guys. And I mean, we have to kind of address the fact, though, some of these guys we're going to have to move on from because there aren't going to be like you can't.
There's not enough money to throw around.
Yeah, so like that's where I'm at with it. Is that you're going to have to move on from some guys. Pick and choose who you want. Who's going to be that heart of the team and that core of the culture that you've already built?
Yeah,
that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell culture. Those are the guys you want to keep. But you're going to keep drafting dudes that you. And Brad Holmes has done it the last 2 or 3 years. He knows the guys he wants, and he's gone out and he's gotten those guys.
Like I said, love a lot of guys on this team, love a lot of players, but there is only so much money to go around.
Yep.
And if I'm looking it down and I'm making a list of saying, guys, I need to sign long-term after their rookie contract, the 4 that stand out are the 4 I just said. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, Kirby Joseph, Aiden Hutchinson. Those guys can't leave the building.
Yeah.
They need to be Lions. They need to stay here.
The 2 top guys I wrote down was Penei Sewell and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
Like those are the 2 guys I would rather keep out of anyone because those guys have been the culture the last year through this rebuild. Amon-Ra has broken all these records. Penei has been the heart of that offensive line. And I did write down Spenny. I don't know if you know where I've been with the Jared Goff situation where I'm like, I do not want to pay him $50 million.
No.
But I did write him down just based on the fact.
Piece of shit.
At the end of the season, though, this is what I wrote down. At the end of the season, if Jared Goff wins us the NFC North and wins us some playoff games, you have to look at extending him for $40 million where the market's at right now because it will go up. That is factual, Spenny. And I've been on your guys' side with Jared Goff forever. I go look at my YouTube, go look at my old shows. I have been on the Jared Goff where it's like we're not paying him. But when you really break it down, if he goes and wins you what you expect, give him that $40 million and move on. But you have to wait till the end of the season because if he doesn't, if we don't win the NFC North, I'm moving on to Hendon Hooker so fast.
How dare you sit in that chair?
Yeah, how dare you sit in that chair?
Someone have Easy calling right now. Easy has been on the Booner Sports Show 100. You have too, Spenny, 100 times. And the main topic usually is Jared Goff. I do not want to sign him to a $50 million deal, $40 million deal.
Yeah.
But if he goes and wins us and proves to us that he can lead this team in this culture, I just don't want this culture to fall apart if a guy leaves. And for him to be the quarterback,
I think this culture is stronger than the quarterback or a singular player. I think it starts from Brad Holmes. Well, it starts from Sheila Fordham. And then it goes to Brad Holmes.
That's a fact.
And then it goes to Dan Campbell. And then it is exuded amongst the players and the rest of the coaching staff. One player leaving this team, whether it be quarterback, which is the most important position, obviously, or not, is not going to change the culture.
But you sign him to a 2-year extension. You don't have to give him 5 years. Give him a 2-year extension. 2 years, $40 million a year.
You want like a
with-
Daniel Jones contract,
Yeah,
something like that.
or a Geno Smith. But if he wins you something this next year, like Hendon Hooker,
Do you think if you're fucking Jared Goff, you're coming off of more than likely
Pause.
a second Pro Bowl season in a row, an NFC North championship, multiple playoff wins, you're going to be like, yeah,
No.
a 2-year extension will be enough for me?
But offer it to him, and if he takes it, good. We have a guy for 2 years while Hendon Hooker is still a rookie.
He's not gonna sign. He wants stability. He's gonna want a bigger contract. He's not gonna sign a 2-year deal.
Okay, and then that's a fair conversation we can
He's
have.
not a Geno Smith. This
When
isn't
that-
a one-off.
When that comes around, we can have that conversation because I have talked about that before, to where he's not going to take a pay cut, but that $40
He's
million,
definitely not
that
taking a pay
$40
cut.
million a year is going to be 12%. So you could get him at $40 million now when he
So you
wins,
want to do it right now?
or
You would have to do it right now.
No.
If you want it now, you'd have to do it right now.
No, I wrote down on my paper, if anyone can see here, I wrote end of season. I want to see what this man can do. If
Again?
he brings an NFC North championship to Detroit, give him another year.
You're living in fucking fantasy land. If he brings an NFC North championship to Detroit, if he brings a playoff win to Detroit, if he has another Pro Bowl
Fair point.
caliber season, he's not going to be like, yeah, I'll take 20% less than market value and only a 2-year contract.
No,
that's not how it works.
That's a fair point. Yeah, no, because we've had people in the chat months ago talking about that, and I've disputed that, saying Jared Goff is going to take the money.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. I'm just, if that deal comes around and he's like, hey, I'll take 40, and we just won. If he does, because he's already made a ton
He's
of
not
money.
going to.
If he does,
He won't.
But Hendon Hooker, rookie deal.
That's what that is.
I just don't- I'm-
Drafting Hendon Hooker is the insurance to that. It's you're not bent over the Jared Goff barrel anymore. Now you have all right. Yeah, you did great. We appreciate you. Here's what we're willing to pay. If you're not going to take it, twos.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I'm
because
with you.
now
I'm
have
with you on that. Are
option.
you worried at all though for Hendon Hooker next year? Because that's technically his rookie year. Are you like
I'm not.
coming
I'm
off
not.
an NFC North
If we
win?
lose Ben Johnson,
playoff
I would be.
games? Well, you're most likely going to lose Ben Johnson, and if Jared
You
Goff takes
shut
a
your whore mouth.
That's just a fact. Like everyone knows that.
You shut
If
your
we want to
whore
talk
mouth.
about Adam sat up here for months saying Ben Johnson, this is his last season.
Ben
in
Johnson
Detroit.
burned my crops. He's not going anywhere. He's staying in Detroit.
I don't know.
They just gave
Unless
him
you
a
want to give him
bag.
some money out of your own salary, but I'm
Like, what jobs realistically will be open next year for him? If the Chargers open up, that's one.
There's so many coaches.
every
that get
year there's
fired
going to be
every
4 or
year.
5 open.
You know that, man.
Yeah, but
now
like-
you're living in.
Shut up!
Now
Shut
you're
up!
living in fantasy.
Shut up!
All right,
Ben Johnson staying forever. I'm not fucking leaving.
Woo! Woo! But nonetheless, we missed out on Detroit Lions talk, baby. And now it's time to make up for it because I saw an article that the Detroit Lions offensive weapons were ranked 16th best in the NFL by ESPN article by who's the name? You have beef with this
Bill
guy.
Barnwell.
Bill Barnwell. And Spinny, you got heated a little bit last night.
Yeah, man, this shit pisses me off. So Bill Barnwell's in there. Yeah, he says they have the 16th best weapons in the NFL. So I'm like, I mean, I'm not mad at it. I think they could be higher, but I'm not going to nitpick on a couple spots. But one of his reasons to this was David Montgomery. He said, and I quote, Gibbs is likely an upgrade on traded back DeAndre Swift, but Montgomery is a downgrade from Jamal Williams. David Montgomery is a downgrade from Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams, the guy who was a career backup until he came here and DeAndre Swift dealt with injuries. Jamal Williams, the same guy who had one career season over 1,000 all-purpose yards, which was last year. While David Montgomery, I don't know, every year of his career has had over 1,000 all-purpose yards. Jamal Williams, the same guy who in his 1,000-yard season had, I think it was 262 carries, 60 more than David Montgomery had last year, and David Montgomery finished with 800 yards last year. So per his yards per carry, if you gave David Montgomery 60 more carries, he would have had more yards than Jamal Williams. And oh yeah, that was behind the Bears offensive line, not the Detroit Lions. You're honestly going to sit there and tell me that you think David Montgomery is a downgrade from Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams, like I said, the guy who's been a career backup. Jamal Williams, who just got paid to go be a backup to Alvin Kamara. Compared to David Montgomery, who is the leading back for the Bears until Justin Fields got there. You know, he's the real running back. This is just stupid to me. This is just, I don't know if he just forgot that Jamal Williams didn't do anything but be a backup until his 1 year in Detroit, where he was forced to be the number one back behind a top 3 offensive line in the NFL and was given 1,000 carries inside the 5-yard line. So that's why he scored all those touchdowns. If the Lions' offensive line and Ben Johnson can turn Jamal Williams from a Packers backup into the guy who rushes for 1,000 yards and leads the NFL in rushing touchdowns, you don't think he can take a guy like David Montgomery, who's had over 1,000 all-purpose yards every year of his career, and have a better season than that? You think it's a downgrade? Do you watch the two guys play football? Do you watch the run style? Do you know how many tackles that David Montgomery breaks? Do you see what Jamal Williams is? This doesn't make sense. I literally can't pinpoint anything out of either of their games, careers, or run styles that is like, yeah, no, this guy's worse than Jamal Williams. Stop it. Stop it.
That does not
Get
make
off
sense.
the weed. Like, this is just blasphemous. Jamal Williams, he was good for us last year, but he is a backup. That's not a guy that you're giving the keys to your offense to and saying you're our workhorse back, unless you're forced to, because your other ones are dealing with injuries, which is what the Lions dealt with last year. David Montgomery is a guy that you could put in there and be like, yeah, this is our number 1 back. He's going for it. As he's shown in Chicago since he got drafted every year. So I don't understand where this guy's coming from. I don't know what he's looking at that makes him think that David Montgomery is a downgrade from Jamal Williams, but he has the confidence to say Jahmyr Gibbs, who hasn't played a snap in the NFL, is an upgrade from DeAndre Swift. That one I think is probably going to be true, but to say that with confidence and then to say David Montgomery is a downgrade from Jamal Williams, the dude's smoking crack. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
You're 100% correct. I did do some homework a little bit here to maybe get how we got to this conclusion. And I think it's doing it based off numbers. And we have numbers guys. We have guys that like to go off context like you, like myself. And in the past 2 years, between the two of them, with more games, David Montgomery actually had 110 less yards and 8 less touchdowns. And that's with him having 9 more games. But for some reason, I tried to make sense of it. Like maybe he had a couple injuries. But it's all the context missing from that conversation. It's like you said. One guy's playing behind the Detroit Lions offensive line that's widely considered top 3, or top 5 for sure, if not top 3. Another guy's playing against the Chicago Bears offensive line who just spent their number 1 pick in the first round on offensive linemen to help them do the things they need to do to get done. I mean, David Montgomery, I think we already know the conversation, is the most broken tackles is being drafted, the 4th most tackles is being drafted, and that's a guy you're putting behind this top 3 offensive line. You have to expect an upgrade from that. I'm a full agreement of that one. I saw it this morning, maybe pause too. I went to go back and watch Jamal's. I'm like, is Jamal more explosive than David Montgomery? I mean, time will tell ultimately, but I think he's got it wrong. I'm taking David Montgomery. He's the more talented back. He's been proven to be the more talented back throughout his entire career, and that's why he was the starter, and Jamal Williams is the backup. And as you said, that's the best line in that was you mentioned he just signed a contract to be another backup yes. Running back, another situation. So I think he's off on that one. As far as like the Detroit Lions 16th, I didn't have the full list to digress. I looked at it a little bit with JB before the show started, but like I think he just misinterpreting what this offense did last year.
And Jamal Williams in his career has 38 touchdowns.
Yeah.
17 of them came last year.
Yeah.
David Montgomery in his career has 30 touchdowns. And I don't remember the exact number, but wasn't it like 11 of those 17 touchdowns
came within the 5-yard
were
line.
from inside the 5-yard line?
Yeah.
And like 8 of them were from the 1-yard line?
Yeah.
Like, come on now. You don't think that David Montgomery could do that? You think Jamal Williams just magically in year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 figured out that he's a stud running back, that he's an all-star, that he just changed how running backs work in the NFL? Like, yeah, no, normally they fall off a cliff, but no, now I'm a stud. Now I'm the guy. No, it was situation, it was play calling, and it was being behind that mammoth of an offensive line. If you give David Montgomery the same amount of carries inside in the red zone that you gave Jamal Williams last year, he will produce similar results.
Oh, it's interesting.
He is a better player.
That's the context missing, right? And because, like I said, before I came to the show today, when I looked at this immediately, I looked at Jamal's highlights. I'm like, damn, is Jamal putting his shoulder down, just fucking trucking dudes and going through them? Which He put a shoulder down. Jamal's a tough runner. We all know that. And then I went to David Montgomery's highlights. I was like, oh yeah, this guy is night and day better. There's a different situation he's going to be in. Like that was a bad take on his part. Aside from that, I did have the rest of the Detroit Lions. I'm sorry, the rest of the NFC North's rankings among this article. He had the Green Bay Packers 28th. Well, I personally disagree with. I don't know that you guys necessarily feel the same way. But how do you feel about that?
That's a little far down.
I think so too.
I know you're really high on Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs.
Yeah.
I like Christian Watson a lot. Romeo Doubs I still need to see some things from, but Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon are a good combination. I think they should be higher than that.
Oh, man, I got the David Montgomery highlights still going on my computer. You guys know once that thing was done, I was pretty damn excited about that one. Yeah, I feel kind of biased in that situation because I know personally that I am high on that wide receiving core. And I obviously have Aaron Jones and Dillon too. Who knows? Luke Musgrove was one of the highly ranked tight ends coming out of this year's draft class, but maybe I have to prove it. I don't know. What?
HJ3K. Jamal value was boosted for his team leadership. He's not better than Monty. Stop. Listen, I like it too. I like the anime. I like the crying in the huddle. I like the piss on the porch if you're a puppy. Like, yeah, that shit's cool. It's cute. It makes good clips. But in between those yards, in between the end zones, on the field, David Montgomery is a better player than Jamal Williams. And you can't argue it. It's fact. Like, there's a reason Jamal Williams was just a starter this year. Because he was forced into it because DeAndre Swift, and because he's not a starting caliber running back in the NFL.
You want the truth of the matter? What it comes down to is national. It's hard enough to stay on top of all Detroit Lions stuff, just all Detroit sports across the compass. Let alone these guys that are forced these national jobs because they work for these national publications. So like when they go to do these articles, they have to go based off the numbers. They don't really have the context. There's no true human outside of Baldy who's a psychopath, watches every single game and breaks down every single game like play tape. Some people do. Russell Brown's one when it comes to college football, but like he's a sicko. Just like I said, this guy, there's no way in hell he watched both these players and came to this conclusion. Like David Montgomery is night and day the better football player.
Yeah, HJ3K, my bad. I read that comment wrong. He was agreeing with us.
He just what he did. He pulled up the last 2 years, looked at the numbers. He know that Williams had a big year last year, but it's just way out of context. He's nothing to consider here, and that's what happens with big national
CJ Rose
articles.
makes a good point. He says, "How can we have a top 5 offense with 16 ranked weapons? That list is trash."
List is trash.
And they added more weapons.
Yes.
Multiple weapons.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs, upgrading David Montgomery.
Yeah.
Sam Laporta.
Yeah, you know how that math works.
Yeah.
You know how that shit go.
You know how 16th can be 5. It's because of Jared Goff is carrying this Detroit offense.
You're right.
Carrying it.
You're right. Yeah, for this offense to be top 5, you know Jared Goff was at the helm of
Ben
it.
Johnson should be listed as a weapon for Detroit.
He should be listed as a motherfucker.
He's probably the best weapon they have.
Jet 5 Frady. I know I missed you this morning. I want to talk about Sasser real quick though. I know you and Chris done like more homework on him than myself. How you feeling about that pick?
I mean, it kind of spoke to what Troy wanted, right? It's probably the highest upside, I would say, out of all the available prospects. Even though I like Taylor Hendricks, and I made this point on the morning show, it's not about what I like, dude. He is swinging for the fences, and you can't deny the athleticism. I mean, Troy kind of said it also at the post-draft press conference as well. When he was talking about day one, he's going to be near elite defender. Like, as much as this team needs three-point shooting, which I agree with, and that's the biggest question mark, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Day one, he's going to be one of your, if not best, perimeter defenders.
Yeah.
Like, in this team, as much as we need shooting, they can't guard anybody.
They can't guard.
I love it. And to take pressure off of Cade and Ivy, that's another plus.
And that's what I saw. And last night I made the post that, like, everybody's saying Killian's gone because they drafted Marcus Sasser. But playing those two guys together in the second unit off the bench would be such lockdown against the other team. Killian could guard the big guard. Sasser can get the other guard. And then you're looking at how well they complement each other offensively. The dude shot, 42, 43% on catch and shoot threes, 60% on, like, open catch and shoot threes.
Yep.
The guy is just a monster when he comes to shooting the ball. And we all know Killian is scoringly challenged. So having a guy like that'll be able to make some buckets off the bench, if you put him with Killian on top of locking other teams' backcourts down, I like the offensive Yeah, he's like Tatum.
It's just, honestly, I was gonna say that.
Just
It's
like
similar to Tatum.
It's a perfect comp, just a little shorter.
Yes, and to your point too, I said the same thing because when I see the tweets about this is it for Killian, you got Marcus Sasser. I think they can complement each other. Now, Killian's future is decided on Killian. That doesn't relate to what Marcus Sasser does. And I don't even know if he'll be in the rotation day one. I hope so, but he'll be in the lineup at some point. I know it. He can shoot the hell out of the ball, man. And that's the other point of this whole thing with Asar. He addressed the shooting to some extent. I mean, Marcus was shooting from NBA range at Houston, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited for him, but no doubt. They can play together. I'm excited.
And the best part,
they complement each other really well.
The best part of the entire thing, see you later, Kojo. Bye,
the-
Corey
yes,
Joseph.
sir.
Yes. Yep.
Rest in piss. Not
Whoa,
gonna miss you,
wait,
bro.
Relax.
We at Dispo smoking that Kojo pack.
Now you telling them where we're at? I mean, are you
R.I.P.
where we're at?
Bozo. Like, bro, I'm so happy
That's
he's
who
off
the
the
placement
team.
was. It wasn't for Killian. It's for Kojo.
Yeah.
Although Kojo kind of a veteran piece.
Don't care.
I didn't hate Kojo as much as
Still
everybody
don't
else.
care.
Did you, Jeff? Did you hate Kojo as much as others?
Dude, you know what's crazy? Like I disliked watching Kojo play, and then now I came here and I could probably watch some Kojo highlights. Like, I'm serious. Like, I'm so relaxed right now.
Yeah.
This is like, shout out to Sean. Shout out to everybody here, man. Like,
Watch some Kojo highlights when the team's down by 4.
Well, no, Marcus Sasser, I'm excited to see him, man. Like that, I'm telling you, Corey Joseph.
Yeah.
Called him in, LA Fitness, lookalike, whatever. He's a great dude. So I feel bad. He's just a good dude.
I'm sure he's a cool guy.
He
but
really is.
But he's not
Everybody
a good player.
says that. So I you know what? As bad as he is to watch, I wouldn't. You know
He's
what?
just a solid dude.
He really is. Now I wouldn't keep him on my team just because he's a solid dude, but that is a plus.
Fuck no, baby.
honestly.
I have a question though. Back to the Killian stuff. What if Sasser is the replacement for Killian? What is his trade value? Like, what can the Pistons get back? I guess both of you
Dude,
guys.
A fucking bag of chips and a
No,
used rubber
yeah.
band. You're not getting shit back for Killian
Yeah,
Hayes.
you're not.
He's about to be a free
Well,
agent.
Getting mids.
Yeah.
Getting Reggie's back for Killian.
I don't even know.
Reggie's bag for sure. You're not getting Dispo.
Would
for
you
Killian.
rather cash in on the Reggies or see if they can coexist?
I would see if they can coexist. You got to give Killian. I know this sounds, dude. I hate saying this, but again, Killian, I'm giving you one more year. All right, I'm giving you one more year. I need you to shoot over 40% from the field. I need you to shoot over 30% from 3. And I'm telling you, with the other stuff, if he figures it out, Marcus Sasser's in there. Okay, I'm gonna give him one more year. I'm done. Guys, I'm done.
That's all he's got. I'm not
done.
extending him,
I'm
bro.
done.
He's got one more year, and it'd be like literally fucking Jackie Moon in semi-pro.
Yeah,
we
like,
get a
don't-
broken
don't-
washing
don't
machine for
trade him.
Killian
Let it
Hayes.
ride out.
That's
Let it
all
ride
we
out.
would get.
Let it ride out.
What do you make
Call
of
me a jive turkey.
job turkey?
Dude, that's such a good movie.
What do you make of the boomers on Twitter calling Asar Thompson a guard? Did you guys see some of that last night on Twitter? It's like, the Pistons only drafting guards and centers. Like referring to Asar Thompson.
He's
as
a
guard.
wing.
Dude's 6'6".
He's a
Yeah,
wing.
that basketball. There ain't no positions anymore, man. I'm telling you.
Say it again.
Like Jeremy Grant
One
played a
Arthur?
lot of center this year. Like at this point, you have standard positions, but who cares? He's 6'7", 220.
What's that
He
wingspan
can
look
start
like?
about 7'1". I mean, come on, dude.
7 is a lot. It's more than 6.
I mean,
is a lot.
that stuff is all overrated. Really, because he's a shooting guard? Come on, dude. The biggest concern is the shooting, which I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, dude, because of his position, come on.
Well, speaking of that, Chris, we do have Troy's comments on that matter. We was asked last night, is there concerns about his shooting inconsistencies? And he had this to say.
Iguodala playing up front, and you couldn't really match up with him. And I kind of saw similar to Iguodala in his early years at Philadelphia. If you guys remember, he was all over the floor, pretty much played everywhere on the perimeter, defended at a high level, but he was also probably, I don't have it, probably a 18 to 20-point scorer. And I see Asar the same way.
I fucked up.
Yeah, so obviously he could just be used for a lot of different things. Troy Weaver is really happy. He gave him the Andre Iguodala comp, which is he heard it from Chris Platty. We know front offices, leaderships of the team watch the heavyweights. Brad definitely does. Shout out Mr. Holmes. It's a close personal friend of mine.
Brad, call me.
Stevie doesn't watch anything. He probably just sits in the room, and stares at a draft board because a lunatic, but I love it. Scott Harris is getting there, and now we know Troy Weaver wants to have it. You heard Chris say it, and he comped him to Iggy. How do you feel? I think it's a pretty good comp.
No, yeah,
especially prime Andre Iguodala.
Yeah, man, people forget, man. He's like Troy said in the press conference, 18 to 20 point scorer. You telling me? If he could become that but I told Lindsey Hunter that this morning, and we were talking also about a comment someone made in the morning show, which I'll bring up because you guys might laugh at it.
Oh shit!
But
I was sleeping. What happened?
Well, I'll get to that one first. So someone commented in the morning show, Killian Hayes, Marcus Sasser, modern day, and I left that part out but modern day Lindsey Hunter, Mike James.
I'm not going that far.
I was like, dude.
What
I haven't seen the guy play.
Lindsey's reaction to that?
What?
Lindsey laughed.
Oh yeah. Let's say.
Lindsey loves Marcus.
You know what I did?
Sasser.
I said it to Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I said it to Kool-Aid. And Kool-Aid, I love him. He's just they good. I love him. He just I'm like, Kool-Aid, you should be like,
yeah,
hell no.
No, not yet. You can't
Hell
say
no.
that. Could they be a lockdown backcourt coming off the bench? Yeah, for sure. But I'm not gonna call him Lindsey Hunter. Lindsey loves Marcus Sasser though. He said it on BDE today. Because he's got that fucking dog in him.
That's why he likes him.
Yeah, he's got the dog in it. He's a great defender. Obviously a fantastic shooter. So I'm pretty excited for it.
I'm pretty excited for it too. I have to honestly do more homework on Sasser.
Yeah.
And get that feel for
Houston
him.
was good, man.
Lindsey was known as a dog in his day. If he's saying that Sasser's a dog, he's got that dog in him.
Dog recognized dog.
He also, I told him the Andre Iguodala comp.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, and he sat there and stared for a second. He's like, yeah, I mean, and he started talking about Iguodala, and he's like, well, he could do this, and this, but Lindsey's coming around. He's coming around. I think he's open. It's just the shooting is his biggest concern. 66% from the free throw line is a little concerning there for me.
He said he wants him to be like, if he can be like an Anthony Edwards type of player. That was like,
okay. Well,
that would be
him.
something that he could love. But Anthony Edwards is a little shorter. He's a little smaller.
Amin Thompson, be like Anthony Edwards?
No,
okay.
If he could, that would be incredible.
That's what Lindsey said. He was like, because D-Mac asked him about like the sigh of relief after Steve Eiserman came in, and he was like, what would yours be for the Pistons? And he's like, if you get like a little Anthony Edwards out of us, sir.
I hope. I don't know if Anthony can shoot pretty well.
Yeah, he can.
And that's a question mark about Asor. But
Asor shot 40% in the playoffs last year.
That's the key. That's the key stat. That
40% from three.
And Troy kept saying it. When someone has that type of athleticism, you kind of just, and especially if he has a shot that you see his work ethic, you see it coming together, especially in the playoffs. Troy's probably like, I gotta take a chance on this dude.
Oh, he said more than that. He had a bar. This is what I thought we were playing earlier.
This is why Troy's not worried
Troy's
about.
Troy's a boss for this.
Yeah.
You can say that, but when you see something different, you see something elite, you know it. I don't think that. I think Halle Berry is pretty in church or in the grocery store, so I think that you can kind of figure it out when you see something pretty special. So.
That's goated,
so speaking of shooting percentage, Detroit just shoot a shot with
Shot
Halle
for
Berry?
sure.
Man shot a shot.
I do not blame him.
Like, you can
Halle
tell
Berry,
me.
this is me shooting my shot. I love you. Let me lick that booty.
Hey, yo, relax, bro. We got the big speakers and everything.
Bro, so what?
All right, yeah, you're
We're
right.
at the dispensary. It's 21 plus. What are you talking about? This guy's soft because he works here. Soft because he works here. This is heavyweight fashion, baby.
No, but I just like to be respectful of the people that are around here.
Heavyweight style. This is why we got signed on easy. What are you talking
Heavyweight style's not insulting women.
All right, but seriously, I got a question about basketball. The shot with Thompson. That was a question mark about Jaden Ivey heading into last year's season. And then obviously he outperformed what I myself expected. I won't say a lot of people, but most scouts had questions about his shooting from the three-point. Is that something you can see a jump in a Asor? Or do you think there's a difference with Asor being 20 years old already?
I mean, I think that's up to – I mean, you got to be able to, number one, you look at the form. I don't think the form's bad enough to where he can't improve.
Yeah, the form's good.
Yeah, the form's good. So it's not – I don't – maybe tweak mechanics, but you got John Beilein. So hopefully that could be tweaked. So the shooting –
I got some beef with John Beilein.
What's your beef with John
Everybody
Beilein?
who left Detroit shot better after John Beilein. From the three.
Like who?
That?
Jeremy Grant.
Well,
Jeremy Grant. Who's my man in Utah right now?
I gotta see these. I gotta see these numbers.
Kelly Olynyk,
Trey
thank you.
Lyles.
Is it? Is
Trey
this true?
Lyles, yes. Kelly
Did-
Olynyk shot. I'll pull it up right
Did
now.
he work with
actually.
Killian?
What's up?
Did he work with Killian? John
I
Beal?
hope not. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, I don't know. John Beeline. Hey, we know what? New coaching staff. John Beeline might not even be there anymore.
He's still gonna be there probably.
Fuck that, dude.
He's from Michigan, too.
Listen, all due respect to John Beeline. If you're a Michigan fan, I apologize. Get him the fuck out of
John
there.
Beeline was a great.
Everybody
No.
is shooting better than they were with John Beeline. Get him out of there.
Okay, well, to
He may be a
answer
good head coach. Sorry, I'm sad.
I didn't know. This is new.
I didn't know you had such a vendetta against that old man.
I didn't know.
39.
Well,
You want Jeremy
what
Grant?
year?
What's
What
the
year was that?
attempts? What's the attempts?
Temps? I got you attempts.
And
All
what?
right.
What? Give me the rosters.
Oh, he's averaging a half more attempt in Utah.
What
His
was the,
percentage
look
went
at the
up.
talent around? Did he get better to the talent level here? Because you're going from
Jeff is smoking
Detroit
too.
to
I mean,
what year was this? Give me the years.
This
well,
was
this-
last year.
So last year, yeah, like when Kelly Olynyk was on the Pistons. he
Okay,
shot
there you go.
32%.
What's the team you're comparing
Yeah,
him to?
that's true.
No, then on Utah
He has
last
more
year, he
talent
shot-
around him, bro. He's getting better looks.
Yeah, he's
He's
riding.
Kelly Olynyk's like our. Well,
He's-
at the time, what was he like? Our dude, I'm telling you.
Third big off the bench. He's riding in the wake of Laurie Markkinen right
All
now.
right.
Laurie Markkinen's going crazy. Kelly
All right,
Olynyk's
ready?
is standing in the corner with the strap.
Listen,
Dude,
if-
that's what I'm talking about.
I'm happy with Monty Williams. If Monty Williams is worth that up to $100 million, his weight and salt, whatever the expressions you want to use, he's firing John Beeline. John Beeline's getting the fuck out of
Okay.
here. He's bringing his guy in from oh, I shouldn't be swearing around that dog. That's really, I shouldn't
Bro.
do that. Be mindful. But get John Beeline out of here. Here, Jeremy Grant. You ready, Jeff? In Detroit, Jeremy Grant shot. We'll go from, all right, 35%, 35%. Portland, take a guess.
39.
40%.
Also, Jeremy
Jeremy
Grant
Grant
was the
shot
number one
40%.
option in Detroit.
Thank you.
He's got
Spencer
Damian
Smash gets
Lillard
it.
on the
Hey,
court.
he
Like,
had,
come on.
Kay was back with him last
He
year.
had Anthony, dude. Anthony and Dame.
How many games did he
Come
play
on.
with
Let's do
Cade?
Trey Lyles. Let's do Trey Lyles. I'm just saying, look, numbers don't lie. And I'm a big context guy behind the numbers. Context in this situation is
This
John
is lie,
Beeline.
Ethan's lie,
John
numbers
Beeline's the
don't.
context. Get him out of here as a shooting coach. All right, Trey Lyles. This might be a one for you guys. 36%. Both of you. Oh,
I
no,
don't-
no, 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 no. And Detroit, 30%.
Can I just talk about how our shot's gonna improve? How we how we get to John
hold on.
Beeline?
Well, listen, I want it to improve as long as John Beeline's not there.
Because we can keep going through it regardless.
The numbers are don't
we
lie.
just broke down two of your options, your listing. what
How'd you
just
break them
listed.
down?
Because
Jeremy
Jeremy
Grant, you
Grant,
break down.
dude,
Utah wasn't good.
Kelly Olynyk, who's better?
Utah
Utah.
was way better. Yeah,
Utah was
what?
way better.
Utah was good.
And the story.
He shot more.
Larry Markkinen was
shot
putting
more. His percentage
Better
went up.
40
looks,
burgers
Matt,
on
that
people's
matters.
heads, bro.
Like usually when you shoot more, the percentage goes down.
Fucking Larry
just saying.
Markkinen dropped like 40 a couple
Jeff,
times. Like,
how about
he
this?
shit on every center in the league,
How
bro.
about this? 'Cause
I'm not worried about Kelly Olynyk.
No
For John
one's
Beeline.
looking. I'm telling
Jeff,
you.
the Detroit Pistons
I don't
are the
wanna
bottom three-point shooting team in the league.
That is true. That's a good point.
Come on, bro.
But they also don't have many shooters.
The shooting coach sucks. That's why. It's all young kids.
I mean, your two shooters
They're
are
all
doing
young.
what
Is
the
he
shooters
shooting
do.
for
They're one of the youngest teams in the league.
Is he shooting for
supposed to
him?
be developing these guys? What's he
So do
doing?
you-
What
do you
about
think-
Jaden Ivey
Are we
shooting?
really bitching about keeping John Beeline right now?
No,
he's proven enough.
You're just going at John Beeline.
Because the numbers don't lie. This guy sucks.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not disagreeing with it, but
No.
there
You're
are
defending John Beeline right
there
now.
are pieces left out,
What?
like the Jeremy Grant shit,
That's yeah.
the Kelly Olynyk shit.
Fair.
Like
No,
Oh, that's fair.
Kelly
Listen,
Olynyk's in a
to any Michigan fans I offended, to any family members of John Beeline, you should go see SMA.
yeah. You
Because
should.
he's getting fired.